It all started last year. I wanted some nostalgia, so I decided to hop back onto Roblox after 5 years of not playing on it. For those of you who don't know, Roblox is a free online game from like 2007. I used to love that game, and it was super addicting, but now they kind of just ruined it. Anyway, I was enjoying my time playing when my little sister, Charlie, who was 6 at the time and loved playing video games, was interested in it. She saw me playing it on my laptop, and, like every other 6-year-old, wanted to try it. I thought about letting her try out the game. On one hand, she can experience the joy I felt when I was also 6 and playing video games after school. But on the other hand, she can get easily addicted to it, and I probably won't see my laptop ever again. No, I told her, this game is hard. I obviously didn't mean the game itself was hard, but I don't think she would understand how to use the WASD keys, and using the arrow keys on Roblox is a mess. My mom didn't approve of this, of course, and forced me to teach her how to play. I tried to convince my mom that it was addicting and that she will not want to stop playing, but she wouldn't listen, so I taught her. And to my surprise, she was playing just fine, but she was happy, and that made me happy, so I forgot about it. A full week later, however, things went from good to an absolute freak show. My little sister went from a happy and cheerful 6-year-old girl to a grumpy, spoiled brat. She never wanted to eat lunch, not because she wasn't hungry, but because she didn't want to stop playing. I tried telling my parents, but they kept spoiling her, like buying her Robux, the digital currency in Roblox, and letting her play for hours non-stop. The thing is, when I was playing Roblox back in 2010, my parents didn't even let me or my older sister, Laura, she's 18 now, or was at least, play for more than an hour, and if we refused to listen to them, they would beat us till we cried. But nowadays, they treat Charlie like a queen. That's not all. She didn't want to go to school. She didn't want to talk to her family. She was practically not even part of the family. And if I took away my laptop from her, either my parents would tell me to give it back to her, even though it's my laptop, or she would just go and watch Roblox videos on her tablet. Which is another reason why she started to act like this towards us. She was brainwashed by all the YouTube kids that get what they want and live a luxurious life. Months went by and Charlie kept getting worse and worse. This time my parents actually started punishing her for once. But it was too late. She was already mentally ruined. She screamed at us constantly, and all my parents would do is make her stand facing a corner, or just take away her tablet. One day, however, we were getting ready to leave and go watch a movie. My parents begged Charlie to wear her clothes, but all she wanted to do was stay home and watch Roblox videos. And at that moment, my parents had enough. They started screaming back at her and beating her. Well, she screamed and cried, but she still didn't want to leave the house. The next day, I knew I had to do something. I logged onto her Roblox account and deleted it. I knew what I had to do. This was the only way I could at least help bring my cheerful little sister back. When she tried to log on, she had a tantrum. My parents didn't know what happened, and deep inside, they were kind of relieved. This led to Charlie becoming depressed, which is insanely odd considering how young she is, and most of the time she would wake up at 4 p.m. and watch YouTube all day. She never ate breakfast and was living off of Snicker bars. My parents took away her tablet, punished her, spoke to her, to try to convince her to stop staring at screens 24/7. But she never listened. She was destroyed. One day, I was at a friend's house, and I was talking to him about how much of a mess Charlie was. I told him about how she watches YouTube all day, how she is basically depressed, and how she had become. "What type of stuff does she watch on YouTube anyways?" he asked. At that moment, I was pretty curious as well, so I logged onto her Google account. I made the account for her, as well as a Roblox account, so I could easily log into both. I checked her history, just to show my friend the type of stuff she spends her time on. What I found in her Google history was far, far worse. It was stuff like how to murder someone instantly, how to use a gun, and how to murder people and not get caught, which sent shivers down my spine. The worst part was, those searches were made 2 hours ago. I decided I needed to get home. I had to check on her, and either way, it was getting late. I ran back home, which was a few blocks away, and unlocked the door, hands shaking. What I saw is permanently glued into my mind. I saw my dad on the floor, bleeding, dead. He had several stab wounds in his chest and stomach. I felt dizzy as I continued walking through the house. My mom was on the couch. This time she was stabbed in the forehead several times. Right next to her was Laura, who had her throat slit. I walked to Charlie's room. I had to confront her. I was crying, barely able to walk, and too scared to walk into her room. I slowly opened the door and saw her sitting cross-legged, cuts on her arm, and as soon as I walked in, she shot herself with my dad's gun. I was shattered. I collapsed on the floor and I didn't know what to do. I called 911, hands shaking so much my phone constantly slipped off my hands. I knew for a fact that it was all my fault. I should have never let her try out that stupid game. It made her this way, and it's all my fault.